the 1st Guards Proletariat Moscow-Minsk Order of Lenin, twice Red Banner Orders of Suvorov and Kutuzov Motor Rifle Division, was a division of the Red Army and Russian ground forces active from c. 1918 to 2002. History. The division was first formed at Petrograd, November 1918. It fought around Olonets with the 6th and 7th Armies from November 1918 into 1920. Defended the Alexandrovsk-Melitopol Railroad line on the Southern Front in August 1920. Awarded the Order of the Red Banner in October 1920. Reorganized as a brigade of the 15th Rifle Division in November 1920. Interwar period. It was then reformed either in December 1924 or at the beginning of 1927 in the Moscow Military District, gaining the title of the 1st Moscow Proletariat Red Banner Rifle Division. Pavel Batov was a battalion and then regiment commander in the division in the late 1920s. In August 1939 it raised cadres for 115th and 126th Rifle Divisions. In the mid-1930s the 1st Division was also the first to use modern headgear and weapons for the rising WPRA. World War II. It was re-raised from its single remaining regiment in September 1939, and by January 1940 was reformed as the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division. Training was complete the 7th of June 1940, and 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division took part in Soviet occupation of the Baltic states since the 15th of June 1940, advancing from base in Poloskan forward positions at Widze to Panevėžys the 16th of June 1940. After a month-long garrison duty in Panevėžys and 2-month-long garrisoning of Daugavpils, the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division was returned to Russia. For the actions during Soviet occupation of the Baltic states, the 6th Motorized Rifle Regiment was awarded Order of the Red Star the 22nd of February 1941. Eastern Front. Before annihilation near Smolensk on the 22nd of June 1941 it was part of the 7th Mechanized Corps, alongside the 14th and 18th Tank Divisions in the Moscow Military District, assigned to the 20th Army. The 23rd of June 1941, the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division was replenished to the full strength of 10,831 men. It was the first Soviet formation to use T-34 tanks at Borisov on June 30, 1941. Yartsevo in September 1941. The 11th of July 1941, after suffering heavy losses, the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division was moved to the reserve of 20th Army and placed north of Orsha, and was completely encircled by the German forces the 14th of July 1941. The 25th of July 1941, the elements of 6th and 175th Motor Rifle Regiments of 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division break encirclement near Modulo, but have suffered more losses in the heavy rearguard fighting by the 30th of July 1941. During that period, heavy personnel flow left few if any of the initial combatants. By the 5th of August 1941, remnants of the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division were wiped out after being encircled again in Smolensk region, in unclear circumstances. After annihilation near Smolensk, the 5th of August 1941, the 1st Moscow Motor Rifle Division was reformed anew within 20th Army. The 18th of August 1941 renamed 1st Armored Division, and on September 21, 1941 it was renamed the 1st Guards Moscow Motor Rifle Division. The division was renamed as the 1st Guards Rifle Division in January 1943. The 30th of August 1941, The 1st Armored Division was participating in the Yelnya offensive, forcing back 28th Jaeger Division. Due heavy losses, the division was stopped advancing the 10th of September 1941 and was withdrawn to behind of Vop River. The 18th of September 1941, the 1st Armored Division was withdrawn to Moscow-Minsk for replenishment and subordinated directly to St-Uka. The 30th of September 1941, the 1st Guards Moscow Motor Rifle Division was assigned to 40th Army and sent to Sumy region. After initial advances, the 1st Guards Moscow Motor Rifle Division started to retreat the 6th of October 1941 as First Battle of Kharkov was being lost by Soviet forces. After losing Sumy the 10th of October 1941, the division was withdrawn to the reserve and sent back to Moscow. The 21st of October 1941, the division was assigned to 3rd Army and arrived to Suvorov. The 1st Guards Moscow Motor Rifle Division lost 70% of personnel in urban warfare before retreating from Suvorov the 25th of October 1941. Attempt to retake Suvorov the 28th of October 1941 have failed. The division remained in Suvorov area until end of November 1941. In 1942, the 1st Guards Moscow Motor Rifle Division was participating in Battle of Rzhev. In July 1943, the 1st Guards Rifle Division was participating in Operation Kutuzov. In October 1943 in Bryansk Offensive, and in December 1943 in Haradok Offensive. In January to July 1944, the 1st Guards Rifle Division was advancing in Vitebsk, Minsk direction with heavy fighting, and was awarded Minsk honorific the 13th of July 1944. In November 1944, the division invaded East Prussia in Gusev area and finally stormed Königsberg in April 1945. 21 to 26 April 1945, the 1st Guards Rifle Division ended the war by storming Boltarisk as part of 11th Guards Army of the 3rd Belarusian Front. Post-war, the division was for all of the post-war period stationed in Kaliningrad. It formed part of the 11th Guards Army. It became the 1st Guards Moscow MRD in 1957. Of the regiments of the war period, the 171st Guards was eliminated, but instead in March 1959 came the 12th Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment. Virtually all of the time the division was truncated. For much of the 1990s the 1st Guards MRD was reduced to a strength of only 4,400 men, but in 2002 was reduced in size again to the 7th Separate Guards Motor Rifle Brigade, and, circa 2009-10, was reduced yet again, this time renamed as the 7th Independent Proletarian Moscow-Minsk Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment of the Baltic Fleet.